The Nintendo Switch is one of the best-selling video game consoles of all time, and boasts an incredibly impressive library full of top-tier titles. It's far from the perfect system though, with hardware limitations holding back numerous Switch games, thus preventing them from achieving true greatness. These popular Switch titles would almost certainly have been better on the PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X, due to not only there being greater processing power, but also their superior online capabilities and a more comfortable controller design overall. Now, they're still great games, don't get me wrong, but would arguably have shown a little brighter on a more capable console. Welcome to Game Rant, everyone. My name is Geoffrey. Let's dive in and check out which Switch exclusives could potentially be even better if ever given a chance on PS5 or Xbox Series X. Number 5. Pokémon Scarlet and Violet. Despite the series' handheld roots, there's definitely an argument to be made for Pokémon coming to a more powerful console. After all, to say that Scarlet and Violet were held back by the graphical limitations of the Switch would be a bit of an understatement, with certain areas of Paldea boasting ridiculously low frame rates, even with the game's incredibly basic visuals. With modern-day Pokemon games relying mainly on Wi-Fi for trading and competitive battling rather than on link cables from back in the day, switching to a more powerful system like the PlayStation 5 would have very few downsides, at least likely. Granted, players would lose the portability, but what they'd gained in graphical fidelity would more than make up for this, and would hopefully allow the developers to better realize their vision of a fully open-world Pokemon game. Number 4. Animal Crossing: New Horizons. Now, it's no secret that the Switch is considerably less powerful than the competition, but this doesn't mean that it can't still compete. Games like The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom show that a title can look stunning despite these limitations, while others opt to focus more on the gameplay experience than on wowing their players with pretty graphics. However, there's one area where a lot of first-party Switch games fall woefully short. Yeah, you guessed it, the online experience. The online experience in a lot of Switch exclusives is really bad, either due to the way that online play is implemented or the lack of features provided by the Nintendo Switch Online service itself. No game exemplifies this more than Animal Crossing: New Horizons, which forces players to sit through a lengthy loading sequence each time somebody joins or leaves a host island. To be clear, it's not just the person joining or leaving who has to sit through these loading screens, but everybody on the island. Number 3. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. There are plenty of things to love about Xenoblade Chronicles 3, from its fantastic main story to its wonderful cast of characters. The art style is pretty great too, but the way that it's been presented to players leaves a lot to be desired, especially when playing the game in handheld mode. Even when docked though, the visuals can often appear blurry, as if they're ever so slightly just out of focus or being viewed through a dirty camera lens. To be clear, there are plenty of Switch games that use lower resolution textures to make up for the console's lack of power. However, like a black stain on a white carpet, it's a lot more noticeable while playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3 due to how good everything else about the game actually is. As a result, many feel as though it's being held back by the hardware, and it's difficult to argue too much with that assertion. Number 2. Mario Party Superstars. There are times when being able to play a game while on the move can be pretty darn awesome, but not all titles are best suited to being played in handheld mode. Mario Party Superstars is a great example of this, with the game being geared more toward couch co-op gameplay than it is single player, meaning that most people will be playing it at home on a bigger screen. As such, those players are effectively sacrificing processing power for portability that they don't really need in a game like this. There's a good chance that some or all of the players will be using Joy-Cons to control their characters rather than proper controllers too, which can definitely get uncomfortable after an hour or two of playing. There's also the whole Joy-Con drift issue, which has affected many Switch owners over the years. Number 1. Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. The mainline Zelda games for the Switch managed to excel even in spite of the console's weak processor. Sadly, however, the same cannot be said of Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. Granted, the game can still be a lot of fun and remains a must-play for any serious fan of the franchise, but those looking for an epic Musou-style experience with their favorite Zelda characters will likely come away disappointed. One of the things that makes Warriors games so enjoyable is mowing down wave after wave of enemies, yet the Switch starts to struggle once the enemy count gets above a certain threshold. With poor frame rates and texture popping issues occurring often, Age of Calamity would definitely have been better if it had been released on a more capable home console, whether that be the PS5 or the Xbox Series X. And there we have it, everyone, 5 wonderful and highly enjoyable Nintendo Switch exclusives that could prove to be even better if they ever had a chance on PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X. Thank you so much for checking out this video from Game Rant. Have a truly wonderful and happy day. See you in the next video. Bye bye.